This one was over pretty quickly. Josh had 4 touchdowns in the first half to ascend all the way to the second row of Mahomes Mountain. Here he is post-game.
One game at a time. You don't win a Super Bowl, get into the playoffs with 3 games, and I think this team understands that. Like I said, we'll watch this film and put this behind us as quickly as we can. And like I said, we have a really good team that we're going into, and we got to be ready.
LeBron weighed in. I really like watching Josh Allen play football. Then he added the football emoji. Greg, that was good. That's a good tweet. Greg, we'll start with you. Do the Bills look like they're the best team in the league right now?
Through 3 games, they've definitely shown that they're for real. I'm not sure I'm ready to say that they look like they're the best team.
Oh, I'm going to lose my mind. You're ready to say he's the best quarterback and they're not the best team? I'm going to lose my mind, Greg Jennings. You're ready. You've seen enough that he's the best quarterback and not that they're the best team. I'm just shocked. I'm sorry. I should have let you finish, but I'm agog at your commentary.
We have moved on.
From Mahomes Mountain. Okay, you're right.
That was head to head.
You're right. You know what? You're right, Greg.
When you look at this team, obviously, what we would like to do is talk about who they've played, and the teams are poor. The Jags, obviously, the Arizona Cardinals. Week 1.
Yeah.
And
Miami.
But Tua was healthy most of the game.
But Tua was healthy, and they beat up on them. He has a comeback win against the Arizona Cardinals in Week 1 to put on the cape and was straight Patrick Mahomes. And then last night was just, it wasn't your typical I'm all everything. It was just, you know what? We're just better than this team that we're playing, and we're just going to take.
It was surgical.
It was very surgical. And that's not how we typically see this team. We typically look at this team as Josh Allen driven. He's going to make big splash plays, going to pull a rabbit out of a hat, and that's just not what we're seeing right now. I just need to know if they are legitimate, and I'll find that out this week. I know that they are a real team, but to say that they're the best team right now in the AFC or in the NFL, that's hard for me because obviously the Chiefs still have the best team.
Yeah, I mean, look, until somebody beats them in the playoffs, you're going to feel like the Chiefs are the best team. I get where you're coming from with that. I'm just going to give y'all a little hint. And I'm not just saying this because they're my pick. Baltimore is going to beat Buffalo this weekend coming up.
Oh.
All right? But right now, through the first 3 weeks of the season, the Bills have been the best team. And I get it. The Chiefs have played the tougher schedule. But the Bills, Josh Allen is clearly, we all admit, the MVP right now. He's playing great football. The one thing you hated about...
I'm sorry to cut you. Do we all admit that?
Yes.
Right
on
now,
top of Mahomes?
I'm sorry. Is it MVP Mountain? Is it Bruce Ballots? It's not. It's Mahomes. I mean, what are we talking about?
The one thing we've all disliked about and discredited Josh Allen for is reckless, mindless turnovers. No. He's not doing it. He hasn't even lost a fumble. Did he lost. Did he lose it?
In Week 1, he lost.
Okay, so he's got one turnover, but no interceptions. All right? I knew he had fun. I didn't know he lost one. So you take that out of it. The defense is always good. He's more comfortable because he doesn't have to worry about, let me get it to Stephon. He's just getting it to the open. Their vibes are great.
True.
Great. All right, so I get that Nick's always called them the September champs, and that's true. Yeah. But right now, they look fantastic, and we'll see if they can carry it on throughout much of the year.
Okay, listen, I am more pro-Bills going into this year than any year in the past, and today than any show I think we've ever done. I'm a little confused by the logic of the arguments that are being made. Like, you just told us you think they're going to lose to Baltimore. Yeah. What do you think would happen if the Chiefs played Baltimore? I think they'd win, because they did. So I think the Chiefs have looked like the best team in the NFL. They've had the toughest schedule. They've won every game. Their defense has been excellent. Their terrible offense is 7th in points in the league, 2nd in the AFC to the Bills. I am very confident the Chiefs would be 3-0 had they played the Bills' schedule. I am not confident the Bills would be 3-0 had they played the Chiefs' schedule. With that said, I think the Bills are clearly the 2nd best team in the league. Clearly. I think that it was insulting that the Jets were the favorite to win the division going into the year. Yeah. I think that there are a lot of similarities between this Bills team and the 2022 Chiefs. 2 straight years of devastating playoff heartbreak, trading away your star receiver in the offseason, not being written off but being discounted by the media going into the year, and your superstar quarterback goes into a year playing a different style than he's ever played. That was the first year Mahomes did the dink-dunk short passes, and it led to the highest scoring team in the league, a league MVP, and they won the Super Bowl. And so I obviously believe that if the Chiefs were to play the Bills in the playoffs, the Chiefs would win. But at some point, the Bills will win that game. Like, it's not going to go undefeated in his career in the playoffs against him, I wouldn't think. And this Bills team, they are leaning into their identity, which is supposed to be a physical, tough team with a physical, tough quarterback. And yesterday they scored those 4 touchdowns in the first half. It wasn't bombs down the field. I didn't see any, you know what I mean? It was a lot of dump-offs to open guys and guys moving. I like what they're doing.
Can I make an argument that the Bills are better? Just it's a little bit of a basketball argument what I made for the Celtics. Are like, well, Celtics are just crushing teams. So Arizona, who might be sneaky good, might not be, but they had a big lead and Josh Allen came back. Then they played the Dolphins and that game was over very quickly. Then they played last night and that game was over immediately, very quickly.
Yeah.
Ravens are good, but it came down literally to the last second. Maybe it would have worked out, maybe not. Bengals game was close, pass interference, maybe it worked out. Falcons game was close. So the Chiefs have played 3 close games. The Bills have had 1 good comeback, whether you can say that's positive or negative that they were ever down, but 2 huge blowouts. And it's like, well, they played like, I don't think the Bengals are that good, so I'm not going to give the Chiefs a big bonus.
Yeah, I guess that's totally fair. I think the Chiefs have a better defense than the Bills. I know the Chiefs have a better quarterback than the Bills. This year, oddly, I think the Chiefs have a better wide receiver core than the Bills. I know the Chiefs have a better coach than the Bills. They have the same record. I'm comfortable saying the Chiefs are better than the Bills. But I think the Bills are better than potentially everyone else in the league, which is not what I have thought of them in years past.
Bengals still haven't won a game. Burrow threw 3 touchdowns, and the Bengals never punted. But since he came up short, touchdowns in the first half. My goodness gracious. Here he is post-game.
1 game at a time. You don't win a Super Bowl, get into the playoffs with 3 games, and I think this team understands that. Like I said, we'll watch this film and put this behind us as quickly as we can. And like I said, we have a really good team that we're going into, and we got to be ready.
Check in on LeBron James, who I took to Twitter saying, I really like watching Josh Allen play football, a little football.
He's always had a little Magic Johnson in him.
A little bit.
That's exactly what I thought.
Do the Bills look like the best team in football?
Okay, so everybody knows I believe the best team in football is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
I also think people think they know what I'm going to do today. Brew was looking around for people awaiting
Absolutely.
a September Champs banner
sent it to
be dropped on their head, or for a roller coaster graphic to pop up. And that's because people incorrectly think I'm a Buffalo Bills hater. I am not a Bills hater.
Okay.
I am a Bills soothsayer.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
I have been correct when everyone else has been wrong. And that includes this year when everyone at this desk, save me, picked someone else to win the Bills division. When everyone in the national media said, Bills are going to be taking a step back this year. And I said, wait a moment. And so today is not a day where I am going to do the usual tricks for a usually overrated Bills team, because that's not what I think we have at hand. Instead, I'm going to tell a very quick story about a football team and see if it reminds you of anything. A legitimate Super Bowl contender that never gets blown out, ever. And then, in their biggest game of the season in the playoffs, gets rolled by multiple scores. Comes back the next year even better, thinking, all right, this is going to be the year we make up for that. And then in a home playoff game to an arch rival, loses by 3 points in heartbreaking fashion. That offseason, trades away their best player, The media cools on them.